If you guys want the best build in NBA 2K22 Next Gen, then you have come to the right video. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the best all-around guard build and then the best all-around big man build. Before I hop into things, if you could do me a quick favor, scroll down, smash that big red subscribe button, as well as like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. So as you guys can see, we are in the My Player Builder, and for the guard build, you're going to want to make yourself a point guard. You can go with other positions if you want to, but for this video, I'm just going to go with the point guard position. Starting things off with the body settings, you're going to want your height at 6'6". The only thing that really goes down is your perimeter defense and steal, but as you guys know, if you're taller, your defense is already way better, so it kind of makes up for it. For the weight, you're going to want to drop this down to minimum. This way you can be as quick as possible, which is just very important for a point guard build. And then for the wingspan, you're going to want this at 7'1". Having a longer wingspan just helps so much with dunking the ball, and your defense is going to be a lot better at 7'1". Starting things off with the finishing attributes, you're going to want your driving dunk at a 92 so you can get elite contact dunks. For the driving lay, you're going to want this at an 86. And finally, for the close shot, you're going to want this at an 83. In total, you will have 26 finishing badges, which is a ton. On this build, you are going to be 100% able to get a contact dunk nearly every single possession. Scrolling down to your shooting attributes, for both your three-pointer and your mid-range, you're going to want both of these at basically max. You're going to want your three-pointer at an 82 and your mid-range at an 86. This is just the best way to conserve attributes. Your shooting and mid-range attributes are kind of low, but you have 27 shooting badges. Honestly, overall this year, your shooting attributes don't matter nearly as much as your badges. Scrolling down to your playmaking attributes, you're going to want max ball handling at an 85. You're going to want your speed with ball at an 83. And then finally, for your pass accuracy, you're going to want this at a 77. And even though you're not able to unlock that many Hall of Fame playmaking badges, it honestly doesn't make that big of a difference. Scrolling down to defense/rebounding attributes, you're going to want to bump up your perimeter defense to an 85 and then bump up your steal to a 90. And then finally for block, you're going to want this at a 70. 18 defensive badges honestly doesn't sound like a lot, but you get gold clams, Hall of Fame interceptor, gold pickpocket. This build may seem like its defense isn't incredible or anything, but trust me, it really is. Your attributes are very good. You are a very tall player with a huge wingspan. And trust me, 18 defensive badges is more than enough. Scrolling down to your physicals, you're going to want max speed and acceleration to be as quick as possible. You're going to want to bump up your vertical to an 80 and then max out your stamina. Considering the fact that you are so tall for a point guard build, this build is able to move around very well. And plus, it will get elite contact dunks with an 80 vertical. You do have a few leftover ratings. I would recommend throwing one of them on block and then the last one onto free throw. This build is in total 97 badges, which is crazy. This build is overall easily the best scoring build in the entire game. Plus, it has very good defense at 6'6" with max wingspan. Plus, you're going to be very quick, which makes it very easy to bump defenders and be able to dribble. Sadly, you do have no rebounding on this build, but you're still able to get boards if you know how to box out correctly. If you want free throw on this build, there's a very easy way to get basically maxed out free throw. First, drop your stamina down to a 90 and then also drop down your speed rating too. This will give you a 98 free throw, which is basically maxed out. Moving on to the takeovers. For the first takeover, I recommend going with limitless range. And then for takeover number 2, there's honestly so many good options, but I'm going to go with finishing moves. And as you guys can see, I've built a two-way slashing shot creator. Honestly, this is a very interesting name, but it kind of makes sense. Moving on to the all-around big man build. Moving on to the big man build. For this build, I recommend going with power forward, but you can pretty much go with any position, even shooting guard. For the body settings, I would recommend going with 6'9" height. This is the tallest you can go without having restricted jump shot bases, plus have the medium speed jumpers. For the weight, I would recommend dropping this down to 214 pounds. This overall will just make you a ton faster without completely compromising your ratings. And then since you are a big man build, go ahead and max out the height. This will help out your defense and finishing just so much. As you guys can see, you have a 92 defensive rebound, which I will show you guys why it's important a little bit later. Starting things off with the finishing attributes. First, for the driving dunk, you're going to want this at an 84. This way you can get pro contacts. And then for driving lay, you're going to want this at an 84 as well. And then finally for close shot, you're going to want this at a 67. This will give you 17 finishing badges, which isn't crazy or anything. I didn't upgrade standing dunk on this build since personally I don't take them a lot. But I know some people do 100% take a ton of standing dunks, so I will show you guys a variation a little bit later. For your shooting attributes, you're going to want max three-pointer and max mid-range. I'm honestly very confident shooting with this build, especially off the catch. I have a really nice low three-pointer jump shot that makes it really easy to shoot with. So going down to your playmaking attributes, you're going to want your ball handle at a 75. Next, for your speed with ball, you're going to want this at a 66. And then throwing up the pass hack, you're going to want this at an 85. It really can't be an all-around build if you're unable to facilitate and dribble. I know a lot of you guys think this build can't dribble whatsoever, but trust me, it 100% can. You can unlock the LeBron James size up escape package, and this dribble move alone is enough to get a lot of kills. Plus, with an 85 pass accuracy and gold bullet passer, you're going to be very good. Scrolling down to defensive / rebounding, you're going to want max interior, bump up your perimeter defense to a 76, also bump up your steal to a 76, basically max out your block at a 97, bump up your offensive rebound at an 89, and then max out your defensive rebound. This build is in total 34 defensive / rebounding attributes. And additionally, as you guys can see, it unlocks a gold rebound chaser. And in order to do this, you need a 92 defensive / rebounding. This build's defense is going to be insane. It is basically every single blocking and rebounding attribute. Plus, when it's hedging on screens and stuff, or maybe you get switched onto a guard, it will have surprisingly good perimeter defense. Scrolling down to your physicals, you're going to want max speed and max acceleration, bump up your vertical to a 75, and then max out your stamina. With whatever ratings you do have left, I would just recommend throwing on to free throw. This build is in total 96 badges, which is crazy. It's going to be able to kind of dribble. Its passing is going to be very good. It is definitely going to be able to spot up from 3. Its finishing is pretty decent. Nobody's really going to be able to get that many crazy animations on a 6'9", 7'7" build. And as you can see, its defensive / rebounding is crazy. If you do want the standing dunk variation, I would recommend doing this. First, drop down your free throw to 25, drop down your mid-range to 75. Then also drop down your pass accuracy to 75. If you throw all of those ratings onto standing dunk, you can get a 58 standing dunk. To improve this even more, drop down your close shot to a 61. Next, for your driving layup, you're going to want this down at a 66. And if you take all of those ratings, throw them onto standing dunk, you can get a 78 standing dunk. And you still have the same number of finishing badges as before. You do have a few ratings, just throw them onto free throw, you can get a 30 free throw. And then regardless of which version you are making, if you want free throw on this build, drop down your stamina to a 90. Drop down your speed 1 rating and you can get a 67 free throw. If you want something even higher, you can drop down your speed again and get a 74 free throw. No matter if you're making the version with standing dunk or without standing dunk, this build is going to be a very, very good all-around build. For the first takeover, I would recommend going with See the Future. And then for the secondary takeover, I would recommend going with Stuff Blocks. After all, the main focus of this build is rebounding and defense. And as you guys can see, I built a glass cleaning lockdown. I'm not sure if you make the version without standing dunk if the name changes or anything. But overall, glass cleaning lockdown as a name does really make sense. If you haven't made it this far into the video, you are a GOAT. And let me know that you are down below in the comment section. If you want a dribble tutorial or a video on how to find your best green jump shot, click them. They're on the screen right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter. And I'm out. Peace.